Hello friend and welcome to Borgcast Lower Decks 4.3 with Peter and Anne-Marie.
Hello, and with Lila in my arms, who hopefully will not be as loud as last week because the cone has gone.
Yay! We have a better dog, which is good news.
Previously on Star Trek Lower Decks.
We heard from Andy, and apparently there is a Moopsie plush.
Ooh.
What a surprise. We also heard from Purry regarding Banana Man.
Oh, right.
His nemesis was General Blight, apparently.
Oh.
I recall he was in the Dandy, but as of a couple of years ago appears to have moved to the Beano. Oh yes, he is still a thing in print at any rate, so there you go. Mm. You don't see the Beano anymore because it's only online. So
really?
Yeah, they don't do physical copies anymore. Never mind. Not that I've read it for years. Tonight's episode is in the Cradle of Vexilon.
Which starts without a teaser.
Yeah,
Why?
which is unusual. Presumably they were pushed for time.
Okay. But couldn't they just have put the captain's log as the teaser and her not asking for an engineer and then moved?
I don't know why.
Captain's log, stardate 58759.1. The Cerritos is visiting the Federation world Corusconia, an artificial megastructure in a bespoke star system designed by a long-extinct alien species. The ring has been home to the Corusconians, who enjoy perfect climate and surface conditions thanks to Vexilon, the environmental computer installed by the ring's original designers. Fortunately, Vexilon is a benevolent ally with no interest in world domination. The Corusconians share a deep bond with their caretaker.
Anyway, the captain's log is that they're visiting now. What is it?
Corusconia.
Corusconia, okay. It's an artificial planet with some special ring thing for now.
It's a ring world, yes. As read about, I was about to say I've seen, but obviously in a novel you don't generally see things. It was on the cover though, of Larry Niven's book of the same title, Ringworld. Yes.
Oh.
I remember hiring it from the library as a kid because I'd seen the cover and it looked amazing. But I've no idea if I enjoyed it or not.
Oh, fair enough. Everything is controlled by a friendly computer called Vexilon.
Makes a change.
But it's sort of lagging and become unpredictable and the weather isn't going right. Which reminds me of that. There is one particularly bad episode of Deep Space Nine, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where the weather goes wrong.
Yeah.
Riser?
Well, okay, yes, there's the one where the terrorists take over weather control. I was also thinking of that one where O'Brien has to be the village storyteller.
That's quite amusing, though.
Yeah.
That's early on, that's quite amusing. The one I'm thinking of has got Worf in it, so it's got to be at least season 4.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible one. Whenever they go to Riser, it's a terrible episode.
Yes, it is. So it's the captain and Ransom trying to work on this computer, and she says, I took something like ancient IT, or whatever she calls it, as elective at the academy, so she's not asking an engineer, and Ransom's like, is this wise? It's Boimler's first mission as a lieutenant, and he's sort of giving himself the pep talk, and I love Teleni this. She's just gently taking the piss out of him.
She's the best Vulcan ever.
Yeah, she's brilliant. And she mentions that, so they've got to deal with the power grid upgrade. And she says that ensigns are more likely to experience death and or dismemberment on their mission with a newly promoted lieutenant. And she also points out that the power cells that they've got to deal with are potentially very volatile. So their mission is a bit like disarming a building site-sized bomb. Rutherford is saying that he doesn't really feel that anything's changed now that they've been promoted. But then Tendi says, we've got access to the anomaly storage room. And there's a Betazoid gift box.
Yes, from TNG Season 1's Haven.
And the Waddy Chula game from the episode of Deep Space Nine you made me watch last night.
It was the next one. We're doing a rewatch. Got to be done. Move along home. So yes, both of them first season gems. Here's a question, pop quiz. Who played the gift box?
What, in this one?
No,
or
in the TNG episode.
Oh, I don't know. Why should I remember something from that far back?
It was Armin Shimerman.
Fine.
Yeah, pre-Quark, Armin Shimerman.
Yeah, fine. Why, from a season 1 next gen episode, am I going to remember someone who played a fucking gift box?
But because Armin Shimerman.
I still don't understand why you would expect me to remember this.
Because Armin Shimerman.
I don't remember everything he's been in.
Well, he was in a box in this one, so... Let me out of the box! Let me out of the box! Am I living in a box? Am I living in a cardboard box? Am I living in a box?
I mean, I remember...
It's a shame they didn't get him back for it. That would have been really good for this one.
His voice has changed quite a bit, though.
It has, but it'd still be cool. But probably expensive.
Yeah. So I remember that he was a Ferengi when he wasn't Quark.
But he was the gift box as well.
Fine. Okay, there we are. See, I'm not a walking memory alpha. I have other things to do with my life.
Oh, it's fairly significant. Come on.
No, it's the role of a talking box in a season 1 episode of Next Gen.
Well, that wouldn't be significant, except it's Armin Shimerman. Therefore, it is significant.
But why would I remember that? Why would it matter to me?
Because it should.
No. Now you've gone on about that, that's gonna be like the stupid fact I remember till I fucking die.
Yeah,
isn't it?
good.
I'll have forgotten my fucking name.
Your dying breath will be, Armin Shimerman was the gift box.
Yeah.
And I should be so proud.
No. You'll have forgotten who the fuck I am.
The chances of that are not high, darling. Oh yeah, the farty one. This is a great time for insults because you can't reach me because you're dogged.
I could throw my phone at you. It isn't in a protective case.
Well, if you want to
Notice
take that
I'm
chance.
more worried about damaging the phone than I am about damaging you. Bloody hell. Anyway, the Waddy Chula game I would have recognised
Right.
because it's Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Not
it's a lot
first. You've
smaller
got to
in this.
remember,
This is
first season Next Gen, Riker ain't got a fucking beard.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't watched most of it since it aired, and I don't plan on watching it again.
Well, perhaps that's what we need to watch next.
No.
I bet Andy would remember.
Of course Andy would remember. That doesn't make any difference to anything.
Hush.
Well, other than, clearly I'm not a good enough podcast co-host because I don't remember shit like that from episodes when Riker didn't even have a fucking beard.
Clearly.
And if Andy remembered, it's because he covered it, because he was the emergency podcasting hologram.
He was.
So did you ask him?
I can't remember, it's too long ago.
But if you asked him now, does he still remember?
Well, I could, but there's no guarantee he's not going to cheat and look it up, is there? We need him in the room, don't we?
Fair enough. Anyway, Mariner says there'll be no more mindless repetitive scans. So, of course, there are now mindless repetitive scans. And a dude I don't know, should I know him? Probably. I've probably forgotten him as well, and how fucking dare I? But anyway.
Yeah, he was in the first episode, so, Lieutenant Dirk. Yes.
Rhymes with.
Yes.
Anyway, he says that they've got one malfunctioning isolinear chip. So they've got to scan all the chips to find the one that's malfunctioning. Every 30 seconds the room fills with gas, so they've got to have breathers. The chips are hot, and by the way, Billups' ferret has escaped.
Lancelot.
And Tendi thinks that they're being hazed and suggests that, this is ensign work or maybe even cadet work and it's not something that they should be doing. Meanwhile, on the planet, it turns out that the computer needs an OS update. So the moment that started, I thought, it's CrowdStrike all over again. And all these IT systems are going to go down. Nobody's going to be able to fly or do any banking or anything.
This is a Friday evening, is it, they're doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yes, it's very CrowdStrike and everything goes wrong, except that this planet has got a Genesis device.
I mean, compared to Lower Decks, this is, they've seen into the future here.
Yeah.
This was obviously written long before.
Yeah. But this has got a Genesis device and it's going to all start again if they're not careful.
Give me Genesis!
Meanwhile, Boimler is ridiculously micromanaging the ensigns under his command.
Well, really he isn't, because he's just doing everything himself. I mean,
yeah, but he says it's going to be a lesson and then just won't let them do anything at all. Partly because he's scared for them, and partly because I think it's a lack of confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also he doesn't delegate well. I know plenty of people who are Boimlers.
Mm-hmm.
This is not unusual. But Talen is just like properly calling them on it, left, right and centre, which I like. And also I like the fact that they're there going, don't we get to do anything?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the others report to Dirk that they haven't found anything, so it must be all right. And then he presses a button and reveals a hidden second layer. And then at that point, Lancelot appears, and then Rutherford's like, no, I don't have any meat. At which point, Tendi says, look, we're definitely being hazed here. This is ridiculous. Let's leave and let's go set him up for something.
So Freeman is having no luck fixing Vexilon. So he calls for Billups, who inspires her to switch it on in safe mode. Unfortunately, she just resets the entire thing, resulting in a primordial planet. I suspect this episode is a bit funny if you know stuff about computers. I mean, I'm vaguely aware of safe modes, but that's about my limit, really. Boimler is still doing all the work himself and has nearly finished when Freeman hails and tells him to put it all back the way it was. And they have a volcano to contend with now as well. We get Boims at his most manic, basically. The other lower deckers have set a trap for Dirk involving the gift box, the Waddy game, and the Inner Light satellite thingy, which sadly just makes me think of the Paradise Syndrome. Oh, there we are. Running into Dirk on the way out of his quarters, they claim to have isolated the faulty chip, only to hear that the task was genuine. Worse still, thanks to a traumatic childhood experience with the Waddy game, he can't even go near the anomaly room. Mariner takes him away to talk about Tellarite slop jazz, which sounds gross. Whilst Tendi finds the faulty chip and Rutherford goes to dismantle the trap, setting it off in the process and getting caught in the Waddy game. And seeing him rush through it is the best part of the episode, with one of the Waddy really sad that he doesn't get to chat more. It finishes with the gift box receiving the simulated life experience and missing his wife. Aww. T'Lyn finally persuades Boimler to let the others help, and they get the power back up. He orders them out as the generator is overheating, and as he shuts it down, it does explode, catapulting his seemingly crispy corpse at the feet of his blubbing crewmates.
Yeah.
Well, T'Lyn isn't blubbing naturally.
No, but it's very dramatic.
Yes. Boims finds himself in a weird room with the koala god thing. This is apparently a Twin Peaks reference, which I didn't get because I only seen one episode of Twin Peaks. And the koala says something, and I just put it through Audacity and reversed it because it sounded like something backwards. And I'm sure there was backwards stuff in Twin Peaks.
It's not your time, Bradford Boimler.
Then he's brought round by Ta'ana. Ranson tells him that you never forget your first death before Boimler dies for a bit again. The other lower deckers reflect on how they were harsh on Dirk, but it turns out he was hazing them after all. So it's not a bad episode per se, with more development for Boimler as a Lieutenant Junior grade, but I think it's the least amusing of the season so far. And the concept isn't as funny as Tuvix or Moopsy. And there's nothing from the season arc in this one either.
No.
So they really were struggling with fitting everything in, weren't they? Which shouldn't matter, because it's a streaming thing, so they can make it as long as they like, but they're obviously determined to make every episode the same length for some reason.
Yeah, don't know why. Maybe there's a brief they were given somewhere along the lines. Yeah, I don't not enjoy this, but it didn't make me laugh, and there was a couple of points that because I remembered them, it wasn't even holding my attention. Yeah,
no, it's definitely not as funny as the other two, sadly. I mean, yeah, I suppose you unfortunately can't expect it to be funny all the way through, but...
But it's not bad. It's not
it's not
like when
terrible.
we've done.
It's not like some of the original series.
I was going to say, it's not racist. It's not offensive.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that. It's just not sufficiently funny. That's the problem.
And it's not. I wouldn't even say that it's boring. Which like some of Ulysses ones were a bit, weren't they? No,
we very much had to find our own entertainment with that, didn't we?
Yeah, but this is. It made me smile more than it made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, let's find out what other people thought. And we've heard from the Llama God.
Lag, Fizikare, Shak, Fixinoi. What makes you feel, before my planet? Now, there's one big problem with this episode of Lower Decks, and that is simply that it's just not quite as good as the previous episode. I mean, that's not a bad thing. This is actually still a pretty good episode. It just doesn't quite reach the heights of the previous Moopsy episode, so, oh well, never mind. Oopsie. But this is still a good episode. I do love the twist that they have on this standard original series Trek plot of evil computer running a planet, because this is not an evil computer. This is actually quite a nice, benign, helpful computer that is actually quite mortified that it can't do its job. So I love that. I love that little twist of that. And I also love how it all goes wrong just because of a failed software update. I mean, I work in IT, so yes, that's going to resonate with me completely. Also, it's weirdly timely given the massive Windows outage that we had a couple of weeks ago. So again, Trek predicting the future. Take better things, please. I'd like that. Also, Boimler leading his first mission is really nice. It's really charming. I mean, yes, he does his usual panicking and getting things wrong thing, but the reason he's doing it is because he doesn't want anyone under his command to get hurt, and not just for him, not just for his own ego. It's because he actually cares about the others. That's just really nice to see. It's really lovely. Boimler's still Boimler. This is really good Star Trek stuff. Of course, that all goes wrong and he dies, but he comes back, so that's okay. And there's a really lovely little moment in the afterlife there. It was nice to see they're sticking with that weirdness thing of what happens when people die. So yeah, I was kind of enjoyed that surrealist aspect of things. And also on the planet, we also get a really lovely moment when the away team criticise some of the artwork, and then they're criticising the wrong thing, and then it turns out the Ransom does actually have opinions on art. So yeah, nice to see that we're sort of fleshing out his character there. That's really good to see. The other subplot of the Isolinear chip search, I mean, that's just really nice because they're obviously utilising the design of some of the sets we've seen in The Next Generation and how little sense they kind of actually make. And it's really nice to see that they think it's a hazing thing, and then it's all played very straight and sincerely, and then it turns out they were being hazed anyway. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's a bit shitty, but hey, it's the Cerritos, this kind of thing's going to happen, isn't it? So it's quite in keeping there. And all the nonsense with the artifacts, the artifact upon artifact trap that they build for the guy. Yeah, I just really loved all that thing. The fact that we've got the inner light thing, which again is weirdly timely given what we've been watching with the other series, and the fact that it hits the beta Z box. I mean, I just love that. The best thing though has to be Rutherford speedrunning the Wadi Chula game. Alan Marine, Count 2 3. I just loved all of that. The looks on the faces of all the simulated characters in the game as he just barrels through it. I just loved all of that. That was great. So yeah, although I say it wasn't quite as good as the previous one, this is still highly entertaining, still some of the best Star Trek, and I did really enjoy it. And as well as being fun, it's also an interesting and a timely episode in another way, because this is showing a society that is ruled by an AI, and that's kind of timely given the massive overuse of generative AI that we're seeing in the world today. This AI is doing the right thing, which is it's taking care of all the tedious chores of keeping the planet running and letting people concentrate on art instead, as opposed to the other way around, which is what seems to be happening here thanks to executives. So yeah, we just need an AI that can do away with capitalism and CEOs and executives who do nothing really. So that'd be nice to see. Let's see that in a Star Trek Lower Decks episode, please. Yeah. So yes, as ever, I'm looking forward to finding out what everyone else makes of this. I hope you all survive the coming heat wave, except for those of you that live in Scotland, of course, in which case it turns out we're all going to be fine. Yay. And until next time, glory to you and your cast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we are rather sweltering. It's just starting to cool down now.
Yeah.
It has been like the June sea on Tatooine today, as we said.
Yeah. And at least while our house is cool, we don't like it in the winter and it costs a lot of money. But in the summer, there's a noticeable difference between what the temperature's like outside and when you come inside. And yeah, it is a nice twist on a Mad computer. It does keep apologising for the fact that
it's very unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, Jeffrey Mark Hyman commented about that on the Facebook group as well. And yeah, can Trek predict better things, please? That would be nice.
Rather than the things going wrong, predicting some things going right would be nice. The whole comments on the artwork thing reminded me of City of Death.
Yes.
For me, one of the most curious things about this piece is its wonderful afunctionalism.
Yes, I see what you mean. Divorced from its function and seen purely as a piece of art, its structure of line and colour is curiously counterpointed by the redundant vestiges of its function.
And since it has no call to be here, the art lies in the fact that it is here.
Exquisite. Absolutely exquisite.
And yeah, Boimler is still Boimler. It's being promoted hasn't changed him and suddenly made him an arsehole or something. It's nice to see.
Yes. Well, it wouldn't be fun if they didn't still have flaws, would it?
No, but what I mean is he hasn't suddenly become like some kind of dictator or something horrible. He's still him, if you see what I mean.
And we've heard from Puri.
Hello, Orgs. Parry here to talk about In the Shadow of Vexilon, another fun episode. For once, it's nice to see a good computer that runs something, and it's nice to see them use the animation to do something that we've not really seen in Trek before, in the kind of giant ring world. That kind of had actually some, just as a visual, it's actually really quite impressive. And, like sort of stuff I've seen in culture novels. So yeah, I actually quite liked that. I liked the kind of the fact that actually one of the groups we're following in this one is Ransom and Freeman, and also a Billups towards the end, but that they're doing the fixing the alien computer to make everything work again. And I liked it was a kind of inappropriate for this week really, which probably dates this cast, but with the Cloudfire thing. The badly installed updates, but the giant space computer system needs updates. So just it's doing what Lower Decks does best, is taking this kind of Trek trope of the all-powerful computer system built by a long dead race, and then putting something slightly mundane into it. In this case, it needs a software patch, or like it needs to do an update, and it goes wrong and starts causing problems. So that's like almost the cause of one of the things that happens. The other one is actually quite a nice story with Boimler and T'Lyn, with Boimler having his first time commanding people. And it's actually, some of them are people we've seen before. So it is when he comes round to that point of he's been friends with them before, and now he's their commanding officer, and he's not sure how to deal with that. And his initial one is to do all the work himself, so that no one gets hurt and so it's all done right. It's actually a nice bit of character. There's still some laughs just with Boimler running around like mad, and some of the sort of dialogue, but actually it's it's just a sweet character moment, and I think that's again where the series goes underappreciated. Is yes, we love what we will see in the third part of this when we talk about it, where it does the fun Trek things. You know, I've often said the series is a love letter for fans. It's not for people who don't like Star Trek. If you don't like Star Trek, don't watch this, because yes, a whole load of stuff will go over your head, but it's a series for, frankly, us. But this is a story which I think could work at any level. You know, the at least the Boimler one, of yes, he's doing something wrong, and he eventually kind of gets his commentary. But there are all the funny things, like Talin's Vulcanness quite often coming in to make her more blunt than normal. You know, quite. I think it was the sort of the people, sort of people will die, or when he kind of said something and she's like, that's not what I intended at all. So I'm quite liking the kind of she's quite a nice addition to the Lower Decks dynamic. Now our last story is the rest of them, Rutherford, Tendy, and Mariner, who are all on a tedious job, and the kind of bringing up of the hazing idea, and they try to bring up revenge. And I just liked all the things from the anomaly room. The box from that sort of horrible Beta Z GIF box. The game from Move Along Home, and the probe that zaps a lifetime into it. And partly Rutherford being caught in the game was brilliant, just because it's, again, yes, it's all real. It's all cuts, and not even deep cuts, but definite cuts into Trek lore. But the fact that he's sitting going, oh no, I've got to do this, and he's kind of speed running it, and then just that last joke when the box got zapped to the beam, and it's like, oh my god, I miss my wife. It's just like, there's nothing spectacular about this episode. It's just really well done and just a lot of fun. I had some really good laughs with it, and you never forget your first death at the end. That was good fun. Diana going, someone gave me the same episode to the last time. So yeah, this is just, I mean, it's never going to be my favourite episode of Lower Decks, but if you wanted to say, what do you like about Lower Decks, I think this episode would be a great one to pull out and just say, I like that bit, but I also like that bit, and I like these guys as well. So yeah, overall, again, another bit of fun episode. So all it remains for me to say is do keep up the good work. I always look forward to the podcast, and I'll hopefully feedback in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, you're right. The sweet character moments often are overlooked, but they're a key part of Lower Decks and why we like it and why it's such a good series.
Yeah, it would be very throwaway without them. People have criticised it for just being, what do they call it, member berries? It's just stuff that, oh yes, I remember that, and I remember that, but it's actually more
like
to it
you
than
had
that.
to go at me for not being a member.
Yeah, I know, it's appalling. But but it's not just that, is my point. If it was just that, it would be dull. But the characters actually, they've really grown on us over these 4 years. And as he points out, those ensigns, we've seen those in episodes before. They're not just brand new and we'll never see them again. So it's this sort of ongoing continuity. Like all good Trek series, you get to know the characters and you enjoy it. Unless it's Voyager, in which case... No, let's not go there. Yeah, I've forgotten Ringworlds were in the culture novels as well, but I'm pretty sure it was Niven that did it first. And Ta'ana, yes. Yeah. It's always great when Ta'ana's... I think that possibly one of the weaknesses of this episode, she's not in it quite enough.
No, it's just when the box starts swearing and they're just like, as didn't know Ta'ana had been in here. And then at the end, I love Ta'ana. She's one of my favourite characters.
Yeah. Cool. So next week we have a little special because we're on holiday. Just talking about the recent San Diego Comic-Con...
Cast things. Trailer things,
yes.
News stuff.
Yes, it's basically a news special.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about all that new exciting stuff. Some of it is anyway. Then on...
Thursday the 15th?
Yeah, exactly. Well done. We cover the original series' Enterprise Incident, which is a third season Romulan story.
Ooh.
Yes. And then the next Lower Decks episode we'll be covering on the 22nd of August, and it's Something Borrowed. Yet again, the title means nothing.
Well, unless it's something to do with the wedding, something old, something new, something borrowed.
I can't remember anybody getting married.
No, so I don't either.
There we are.
But
anyway, until next time, stay cool, take care, cheery bye.
Bye. The art for Borgcast Lower Decks is the fantastic work of Charlie Thorburn.
All music referenced is for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
Find our website at borgcast.libsyn.com.
We have a Facebook group which you're welcome to join.
You can find the Borgcast playouts on Spotify for your listening pleasure.
Visit our Tumblr site at borgcast.tumblr.com, where you'll find images accompanying the episodes discussed in this cast.
Send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Shut it down!
Eat a bag of Borg, motherfucker!